Hello, the title of my TED Talk is What Makes a Good Life. The author is Robert Waldinger, and he is a clinical professor of psychiatry at Harvard School. The summary of the talk is that Robert Waldinger talks about what makes a good life. He says that what makes a good life is not the money, and is not the work that you have, and also is not become famous. What makes a good life is the relations that you have with people, and not to be alone, because he do a project with other people, and he asked to teenagers like us the question, what makes a good life? And what people say was that is the money or the work that you have, and anybody says that are the relationships. The relationship with the subject. This TED Talk is important in social science because nowadays the only thing that moves the world is the money and the famous people. And my personal opinion is that we have to do other things that make us happy, and not only to work, and we have to stay with people and be happy.
Thank you, Nayeli. You will be receiving some feedback.
Okay. Good. So number one, you have obviously done some preparation and prepared it in practice. So I like that. You weren't just reading, so that's good. Well done. And you know, you were sort of trying to look about a little bit, maybe a little bit more eye contact with people. You know, you weren't looking down, but if you are looking up, also try and draw people in. Okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, good. But the main thing is just watch your body language. Be really careful about your body language. You were sort of walking about a bit, which is fine, but it was you were just doing little things like scrunching the paper up,
Yes.
fidgeting, putting your hands in your pocket. These little things are very distracting to the audience. We notice it, and then we stop focusing on the talk, which is frustrating because the talk is interesting. So just really try and, maybe if you do it, practice it in the mirror and just practice looking at yourself, just standing confidently and not having to constantly be moving and this sort of thing, because that's very distracting. And that's a good tip for everybody. And finally, just again, like the last talk, a little bit more, why have you chosen this video? I really like it when people make a personal connection, because there's obviously a reason why you pick your particular video. And maybe you don't realise it immediately, but if you think about it, there's going to be a reason why something to do with happiness interests you. Like, you know, I don't know why particularly for you, but try and think about why, for you personally, these videos are important. So I think that'd be really good. But thank you very much.
Hi, today I'm going to present my TED Talk that is called Why Great Architecture Should Tell a Story. The author of this TED Talk is Ole Skiren. Ole Skiren is a German architect that has his own company. And it works all around the world. And he offices in Hong Kong, Berlin, Bangkok, and Taiwan. Ole was graduated in London. He was awarded the RIP silver medal. The main topic of this tech talk is architecture, and in this video Ole talks about that in the past architecture was under a spell, and now in the present is becoming like a history. But for me the best point of the tech talk is that the buildings that he make buildings combining fictional and social places. And he has made a lot of buildings all around the world, from a twisted tower in China, from a floating cinema in Thailand. My personal opinion is that Ole makes amazing buildings, but for me the best thing is that he combines the fictional, the social and the fictional places for the people, like it were hotels. And the relationship with the subject is that this tech talk is important for all the world because he is working all around the world, and little by little architects are designing with the newest technology amazing building that will change the society in a few more years.
Good. Okay, relax. Done it, well done, you've done it. Good, so, again, another interesting talk. I like it. Again, just the body language. You're moving a lot, there's a lot of movement, it's distracting. Really try and just stand controlled. I know it's really difficult. And also, you know, I can tell you wanted to make eye contact, but if people start laughing at all, it makes it more difficult. It really puts you off, so do not laugh at whoever is speaking. Do not make funny faces, do not smirk at each other, okay? Don't do that. Okay? He makes, not he make. He makes, okay? And just in how you pronounce H, I don't want to hear he. Yeah, these things. Ha, he. I know it's more difficult for you than it is for us, but really try and make that pronunciation correct, okay? Okay, good. So body language, pronunciation, just really try and think of those things. But again, you'd obviously done some preparation, so I'd like to see that. You won't just read it. Okay?
Thank you.
Well done.
Hello, my name is Unai, and I am going to present you my TED Talk that speaks about that refugees have the same rights than other people like us. In this talk, the author, that is called Antonio Guterres, said that we can solve this problem that is affecting our society in this moment. He speaks about some reasons why we must try to stop this problem, and also he said we must fight against ISIS refugees propaganda.
Well, my TED talk is called "The Brain May Be Able to Repair Itself with Health." It's about health, and well, Dr. Jocelyn Blanche, with some of her colleagues, may have found the key to neural repair for the brain. I think this, in my opinion, this is an important TED talk because thanks to this, medicine will develop and we could change the world with this development.
Hi, my TED Talk is about drones, and I think why are we inventing new vehicles if they pollute? And in other parts are thinking of not polluting so much. So why are we inventing new things that pollute? And that's...
Hello, my TED Talk is about one woman called Linda Lucas that talks about that she wants to create a more diverse and colorful world of technology from the poetry of code. I think it's a very good way for learning. Hello, my TED Talk is about the data the police take about people without us noticing, and I think this is a good way of controlling people and avoiding some problems.
Hi, the TED Talk I've chosen explains the behavior of monarch butterflies. These butterflies, when they are infected by a pathogen, they lay their eggs in a toxic plant that when the larvae eat the plant, they eradicate this disease. I think that I wouldn't ever think of butterflies with their tiny brains, of discovering new medicines and how to use those medicines.
Well, my TED Talk talks about how to maintain and how to be happy. I think it's very important to know how to be happy, to have a better life, and I think it was a very interesting TED Talk.
I don't have
Me too.
My TED Talk is about an astronomer that says that we have to stop dreaming of Mars as a place that we eventually move when we messed up with Earth.
I'm going to talk about the brain may be able to repair himself. I am trying to talk that double positive cells make that the brain can repair it itself without the help of doctors and medics.
My TED Talk is about how modern slavery is still being a common problem for children in non-developed countries. In my opinion, developed countries should help to finish these type of cruel situations in the whole world.
My TED Talk is about how some scientists may have found some cells that can help to rebuild the brain itself. This TED Talk is related with social studies because it can help us to improve our society, and this TED Talk is a very good news for everyone because it could improve our quality of life.
My TED Talk are 10 ways of having a better conversation, the same as Ines. And I have chosen this TED Talk because I think it's very important, because nowadays childs only they make relations by the mobile phone or things like that, and they are not used to talk face to face.
My TED Talk is about how we will fight the next deadly virus, and Pardy Savetti, who is the author, talks about when Ebola broke out, how she worked with her team, finding how Ebola mutated and spread, and she immediately released the research online for being helped by other scientists in the world.
Hello, my TED Talk talks about the polar ice, and the author that is called Camille Siemann is a photographer that talks about this big mass of ice, and I think that is very important to know these characteristics because we could know more things about the world of our warming.
Hello, my TED Talk is about how schools are killing creativity, putting a lot of class of mathematics or idioms, and schools should have more classes of creativity because it's a really important factor in life.
Hi, my TED Talk talks about how germs travel through the planes because and how planes are disgusting than a 17 years old boy, that is the author of this TED Talk, has invented a simple but efficient invention to make the sneezes and the breathing of the people on the plane to filter faster.
Hi, my tech talk is about how the brain can repair itself, as Iciar and Ruben. And I think that is very important for the medicine improve.
Hello. My TED talk is the same as Nayeli's. It's of Robert Waldinger, and I think that is very interesting because nowadays what all people want is money and being famous, and the really important thing is to be happy and have good relations.
So my talk is about how germs travel in planes, and I think that this is a very important thing because as technology improves in transport, transport can also take us to, if in a country there is a disease, take it to another country and infect all the world. And I think like this, with planes, we can infect the world easily. So the author of this tech talk is Raymond Wang, and he is 17 years old. He is very young, and he wasn't known before doing this talk. He is known now for this talk. He's an inventor, and he has invented like a little thing that can filter better air in the planes. For example, in the talk, Raymond shows us a simulation that shows how, if someone sneezes, how all the germs travel through all the plane before being filtered in the filters. And I think this is at first disgusting because, well, all the saliva and goes through all the plane line. Also, if someone has a disease, it can infect the whole plane in a question of minutes. And I think this is a great invention, as I said before, because it works pushing the air down through to the filters, because in planes the filters are down in the floor, and this thing pushes the air down so the filters can filter the air. And I think this is an example of a law of life, that is that the simplest things normally are better than complex things that work with a lot of electricity and machines. And if that can work well, but if something goes wrong, to replace that is very hard. This is related to the subject because a lot of people could be saved by this, and I think most of the people here has traveled at least once in their lives by plane and could be infected by a single travel by plane. And I think this is a global problem that affects us directly.
Thank you.
Would you like some feedback first, or shall we watch? First feedback? Yes? Okay. Good. How do you feel?
Nervous.
Nervous? You feel nervous? Well, you know what? I'm really impressed. I think you did really well. That's not easy in front of the camera, the first person. With the camera right in front of you, that's really difficult. But you've obviously done a lot of preparation. It was a really well prepared talk. Really great explanation about the background, why the issue was important. You explained who the speaker was, why it's related to social sciences. Very well explained, it was very clear. The pacing, it wasn't too fast. So really good speaking, okay? I mean, you were nervous, and it was clear to see you were nervous, but you weren't just looking down at your paper. You didn't let it stop you. You know, a couple of times you may have stumbled, but you kept on going, so that was really good. I think, you know, as you grow in confidence, you can maybe take in the audience more, really bring them into it, because you're often looking up, looking around. You weren't looking down, but often you weren't directly bringing in the audience with your eyes. And obviously then you'll be able to project more your voice as you gain more confidence. But I'm really impressed. A really good talk, well researched, well structured. I think one of the best we've seen, to be honest. So.
Okay, my TED Talk is called 10 Ways to Have a Better Conversation. The topic is conversations, obviously, and the author is Celeste Heidel. She has worked in the public radio since 1999 as a reporter, host, and correspondent, and also she has a lot of degrees in music, and she sings like a professional opera singer. The summary, she says that approximately a third of American kids send around 100 texts a day, and they are more likely to talk to their friends by WhatsApp more than face-to-face. So now I'm going to tell you some rules that can make a conversation to be better. First is don't multitask. That means if you are in a conversation, be only thinking in that conversation. Don't think about any other things like what are you going to have for dinner or what are you going to do tomorrow. Another thing is don't pontificate. That means if you say something, most of the times you are going to have an answer or another opinion. So if you don't want other people to say their opinion, write a blog, and so you don't know others' opinion. Another one is use open-ended questions. That means if you only ask, for example, were you angry? The answer would be yes, I was. So you have to ask like, how did that feel? What happened? For the other person to think of the answer and to have a more interesting answer. Also go with the flow. That means if you are talking about a topic and it comes to your head other things, don't say them. For example, you are talking about what you did yesterday and you remember that you met a famous person 1 week ago, so that don't say it. Another thing is if you don't know something, say don't know, don't invent it, because maybe if you invent it, you are going to get to put in trouble other persons. And the last one, she says, is the most important, is listen. And you know that a lot of people have said that you have to listen, but this is extremely important because one expert said, if your mouth is open, you aren't learning, and that's true. And the last one is, she said, is be brief, and she puts a sentence that says, a good conversation is like a miniskirt, short enough to retain interest, but long enough to cover the subject. So it doesn't have to be so long to make the people be interested in it, but it has to be also not very short to tell all the things you want to tell. My opinion is that some of these rules could be helpful, but some others aren't very helpful for some situations. Like, for example, one was don't give so much details, but in some cases it's good to give details. And I think this is related to the subject because we live in a society where it's essential to communicate, And to know how to have a good conversation can avoid a lot of problems, because people can understand other people and can be understood better. And I think it's very important in couples relationship to have a good conversation, because if you don't have it, it can be the reason for a lot of breakups.
Great. Jean, please, would you mind giving us?
Do you want to watch first or first?
Watch it first.
No, I think we're going to do feedback first. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to impose on you the feedback, okay? Good. Great, another really good presentation. So we've just had 2 excellent ones. Number 1 I want to say is great body language. Great, did you see our body language? Really open, really good posture, and you were looking at your audience. You were looking at me, you were looking at them, really drew me into the talk, really good. One other thing, you don't need to say summary. When you do a summary, you don't need to say summary, you can just go into it. I thought at the beginning, maybe you could have had a little bit more on why the topic drew your attention, you in particular, at the beginning, because you kind of went straight into describing it. It'd be good just to know why you saw that topic and thought, oh, I want to do that one. Yeah. A brilliant explanation of the talk, like it made me interested. You know, you drew out interesting elements, and so now I want to see it.
Okay.
Fantastic. At one point you said, put other people in trouble. No, put in trouble other people, or something like this, about when you make up things.
Yeah.
Now it's better to say, you don't want to get other people in trouble.
Okay.
Maybe I can tell that afterwards. I like that you put in your own personal opinion, but it'd be good to see it a bit more developed. Maybe a bit more of an example. You know, you were actually sort of critically thinking about it, not just saying, oh, it's really good, but you were saying, it's good, but I thought it could be improved like this. Maybe develop that a bit more. But yes, another really excellent talk. Well done. Really impressed.